think I will change my earphones.
Cool. Okay, hello everyone. We have another meeting on the Venus Genius bot, which purpose is to teach others about the project and help them navigate through all the knowledge that there is to be. Also to create, um, to show that we're doing great technology. So yeah, we're working on it. Cool. So I have Stas here with me, and others are welcome to join. Cool. And we'll share this video later on. Okay, nice. So previous time that we talked, I covered Dialogflow, which is the platform that create the conversation engine of the bot, which is like the brains of the bot. And we also went over Glitch, which is the platform that hosts our server, which makes the communication. So it connects the Dialogflow, which is a conversation agent, with Facebook, which is the bot is on Messenger platform, like the Facebook Messenger. So we have Glitch the server, we have Dialogflow the conversation agent, and we have eventually Facebook's interface for Messenger app. So these are the three main components. I think this is all we talked about last time, I think. Okay. So I think we can just let me know, Stas, what you encountered that you find maybe difficult or confusing, and I'll try to explain it better or help with that.
You hear me now better?
Yeah, a bit better. I think it's still weak. Oh, yeah, maybe now it's better. Just get closer to the microphone, maybe.
Yeah, I think maybe we need to talk about the progress. How we start, what we did, what we made,
Hmm. Yeah,
and what is the next goals.
yeah, great. Okay, so I can maybe share the screen here. So that's a good idea. Yeah, so regarding the progress, so basically, uh, that's Dialogflow, which is where the current bot is, the conversation agent. So engine. So what we did is we already had this conversation engine in Hebrew, and we just translated it to English. So there was already like a huge base of a few hundreds of conversation topics. So you see, like this is only one page of conversations, and we have like 14 of those. So I can flip here and go over all the conversation topics. So there are a lot of those, and also all the Q&A from the website are already here programmed. So that's like really great progress, and thank you, Stas, for doing all the translation to English. Yeah, that's very hard work and a lot of work. So that's great. I think we have still a few ones that needs to be translated, right? But like the vast majority is already in English, so that's great. So we have a very good base for a bot.
Of course, we create a new one if we see that we have new topics or subjects.
Yeah, of course, it's very flexible, so we can add any new topic that we want here with create intent. Just type in which keywords do we expect, like what kind of here transportation will the future city use, for example, and so on. I can then here a few trading phrases, and then I can type here the expected response by the bot. And so these are just training phrases. So if the question asked by the user is a bit different from this, the conversation agent should recognize that it's a bit different and still respond with this reply. And you can enter here multiple replies, like planes, circular issues, whatever, right? Hover balloons. Okay, so you can make here complex replies. You can also create like what is it? You can create text response. You can create like multiple choice options. So for
It's
example,
in
here I
the
can choose
Facebook
Facebook
Manager.
Messenger. Yeah. So I can add here like an image, a card, quick replies, custom payload, text response. So I can make here a few different types of responses. Yeah, so that's about it. And there are two more levels of complexity. There are contexts, which is like I can maintain a conversation flow. Like I can go on a specific topic and with the user. So for example, if the first question is what kind of air transportation will the future city use, and then the replies, for example, planes, and then the user says, how would they look like? So how would they look like is a question that if it's asked in general, the bot doesn't have an idea how to answer because it doesn't know what we're talking about. So in order to connect the first question with the second one, so there would be context for the second question, we use context. Okay. So in this case, I add once this question is asked, okay, what kind of transportation will future city use? I can add here an output context that is called airplanes. Okay, so like that means that we're talking about airplanes now. Okay, and on the next question that I want to follow this one, I would add airplanes as the input context here. Okay, so that would be airplanes. Okay, so now I know that if a user asks, oh sorry, how do they look? Now I know that it relates to airplanes. Okay, so how planes look. Okay, so now I know that because we came from this context, then this question relates to airplanes, and then I can respond accordingly, right? I can respond here with here's an image, okay, and there could be a link, or I can add an actual image here and stuff like that. Okay, image, whatever. Okay, so that's basically the gist of it. I think there are also thing called actions. So let's just remove everything here. So actions is responding to something in that happening in the context of like this some information that exists in the context of the question asked. Okay, so for example, how does flying how does an F-16 looks like? Okay. So I can mark this, for example, as like entity name, which would be airplane model. Okay, and that's F-16. Okay, airplane model. And now if I go back here, and I have how does an F16 looks like. So I can mark it as an airplane model. Okay, so now the conversation engine it pulls this specific word, which can be F16, F22, F15, whatever. It can be different words, and it pulls this value, and I can reuse this value later on. So for example, I can send it to my email. Okay, so I would get an email notification that someone asked about an F16. I can also, in my response, I can use here, for example, okay, so I can define it as a parameter. Okay, airplane model. Okay, and what parameter model? Yeah, entity. So that's airplane model, and model. Okay, now I can reuse this. So airplane model. Okay, image looks like this. Okay, and I can put a link, whatever, for F16. Okay, so I'm just pulling this word from here. Okay, so I'm taking this word, whatever it is. Okay, in this case it's F16, but can be F22, F15, whatever. I'm pulling this value and I'm putting it here in the sentence. So it's like I'm programming the reply based on what the user did input, because I don't know the advanced what kind of model the user would ask for, right, in this case. So I just taking this word and I'm implementing here it back in the reply sentence, for example. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so I think we went over the major stuff, right? Okay.
I think you
now,
can.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think you can show the fulfillment.
Yeah.
And how you connect with the Zapier.
Yeah, great. Okay, so another thing that we can do is on specific intents, on specific questions that the user asks or messages that he delivers, we can create a more sophisticated response in the sense that we send a notification to the creators of the app, of the bot, okay, to us. So we send an email, for example, saying, okay, this user used this kind of an intent. Okay, here's that information. So this is good if someone, for example, leaves an email in order for us to contact them in the future. Okay, or if someone wants to volunteer or donate. So we would get an immediate ping on our email that says, okay, there was a trigger, someone asked for the special intent. Here is all the information on that. Okay, so for example, we have my email for volunteering. Okay, so there's already context in this conversation. So someone said, okay, I want to volunteer, and I told them, oh, really, that's great. What do you want to do? And they said, like they suggested something, and then we asked, okay, great. What is your email? So we would notify a creator, and then we arrived at this intent. Okay, I asked to volunteer. That's the incoming context. And then the user either sends his or her email or types my email is whatever, and now the conversation engine knows how to identify this entity that's called email. Okay, so this is just a specific example, but it can be any email address. And now we define this email address as an entity, okay, and mark it as $email. and now we can actually implement it. We can implement it in the reply. Okay, I got your email dash your real email, specific email that you sent to us. My creators would contact you soon. Okay, and here at the bottom in the fulfillment section, I can enable webhook call for this intent. That means that for when this intent is triggered, then we, the creators, get a notification about it. Okay, that's the webhook. That's what it does. And the way that it connects to our email is that we use a service called Zapier, okay, which is sort of, if you know this, it's similar to if this, then that. So it's a service that if something happens, then do this. So in this case, we define there a Zap that's called webhook to email. So when this webhook is triggered, when someone using this webhook to trigger an event, then an email would be sent to us. So I can maybe show how it looks. So you have Zaps, and okay, send an email from Gmail when the webhook is received. So that's it. So that's a webhook to email, and so you can define webhook, which is in this case the webhook that we got from Dialogflow. Okay, and once this is triggered, then I can send an email in this case. So I sent an email to this address. This is an outdated one because we already moved to a dedicated Zapier account, but this is just as an example. And then I can choose here who am I sending the email to. I can also decide to send the email to the one that sent the email. Okay. So I can pick and choose here fields from the event that Dialogflow sent to me. And I can type here whatever in here. Here's his or her email is blah blah, and I just implement the email here in the message, and then this is what we would get on our Gmail inbox or whatever, with all the information of that person. And now we can contact them and say, hey, I want to follow up on your conversation with the bot, with the Venus Genius, and you mentioned you want to volunteer. Let's talk about it. So we can take it from there.
You want to show it with the chatbot?
Yeah, sure thing. So cool. Just a sec. So let me open up. Oh wait, where is it? Okay. Let me just open up the messenger in a separate window. Okay. Cool. Okay. So in this case, I can type, hey, what's up? Okay. And now the Venus Genius will generate some reply. Okay, welcome. That's the best I got for now. Ready for any question? Okay. I want to help. Okay, let's see if he recognizes that, because this is not directly saying that I want to volunteer. Okay. Oh wow, that's amazing. There there are many ways it's supposed to be. Okay, there are many ways you can contribute. I'm here to guide you. And then donate money, volunteering, connection with key people. It's supposed to, I see that doesn't fit here, but basically, okay, I'm saying, okay, no, I want to help with volunteering. Amazing. Always glad to see new people join and take an active part in the project. So as you see, there is context here. So when I say something, the bot understands that this is a part of a conversation that I want to volunteer. So we use the context here. That is why there's like a chain of messages that are related to one another. So that's context. Okay, what would you want to do? Yeah, I already said I want to volunteer. I need to check this one. Okay. Oh, my God, why is it stuck on that? Yeah, people join tech partner active. Oh, okay, we'd have to check what's up with that. So for example, how do we analyze this issue? Because this is not what's supposed to happen. So we go to intents, okay, and we can also try to recreate it here. There's like a debug section here, which we can use. So it's like we can chat with the bot from in Dialogflow. So we can say, okay, I want to help, okay, and then, okay, I want to help. This is the reply we're getting from the bot. It's correct. Here's the context. I asked to donate. I have connections. I want to volunteer each of any of those. So when I type volunteering, it should recognize that this is what I chose. So, for example, okay, volunteer. Okay, what would you want to do? So, in this case, it didn't react as expected. Let's see people joining technical partner project. Okay, so let's look for. So how do we debug it? Okay, so we can recognize the intent. I want to volunteer. Okay, so here it is. I search for volunteer and I want to volunteer. So, okay, so we have this. I asked to volunteer. Now it should go to asking the email of the person. Okay, so let's see. Email. Okay, my email for volunteering. Okay. Ask. Okay, so I see now that there is an intent missing. Maybe we deleted it by mistake. Okay, but there's a missing connecting intent. So in this case, I said that I want to help. Then the bot asked me, what do you want to do? I replied, volunteer. And now there's nothing that responds to that. Basically now it's supposed to say, okay, can I have your email? And then once the user sends the email, then we get to this intent, which is the last one. So let's create this connecting intent, which is missing. Okay, which would be, okay, I want to volunteer. Now we replied with this. Okay, let's recreate it. I want to help. Okay. Okay, so we got to this intent, which is called I want to contribute somehow. Okay. Contribute. Okay, I want to contribute somehow. So this is the initial intent that we started with. Okay. So we're creating contexts for the conversation, meaning that I either want to donate or help with connections or volunteer. These are examples of things that I might say in order to trigger this. And you see, I said I want to help. That's why it was triggered, because I have this specific phrase even here. And then the outcome is what we've seen. Okay, wow, it's amazing. And we present a card with 3 options: donate money, volunteering, and connections with key person. Okay, so in this case, when the output is I ask to volunteer, now we should create another intent with the input I ask to volunteer, and an output also. Okay. So let's create a new one. What we can. This one. Volunteer. I want to volunteer, so we can use this one. Okay. I ask to volunteer. Okay, so we know that that's the input of the conversation, and we keep it as an output in case user keeps asking related questions. So we want to keep letting the bot know that the user asked to volunteer, so we're still in that conversation. And now the response should be amazing. We're also good to see you join and take an active part in the project. Can we have your or let's be more assertive, please send me your email so we would contact you with further information. Okay. Oh, no, okay. Please send me your email so we contact you with further information. Okay. In the meantime, you can browse the volunteering section of our website. Okay. Site, and just give a link here. So the Venus project, and go here to the volunteering section, or how can I get involved? Okay, and that's it. I'll just paste it here so the person would see this response. Okay, so now I'm asking the email. I'm saving this intent, and let's go here. My email for volunteering. Okay, so here again, I'm still in the context of I asked to volunteer in this conversation. So I get it, I typed as an input intent. So when I know that someone sends their email that it's related to the fact that they want to volunteer, and my response would be, okay, I defined an email as a parameter in this case. And I reply, got it, I got your email, and I type here their email in response. My creators will contact you soon, and I trigger the webhook call for this intent. Okay, that's it. Now it should work.
Is it only for the volunteering?
So in this case, it's only for volunteering, yeah, because I wanted the response to be specific to volunteering. Now I can make one like for all the author for help author options. I can define one intent. In this case, my response would be not specific to volunteering. I know which is what's it now basically, but so I can do it. I can unify all my email for helping out. Okay, and that's it. It would be general. So all would lead here. So I can say, okay, I asked to donate, and I don't volunteer.
So okay. You can connect the talk with real person intent.
What's that?
Connect with the talk to real person intent also.
Yeah, you can create another intent which is talk to real person. It can also be the same. So do you have already like talk to real person intent context? Yeah. Okay, talk. How is it called? Talk to a real person. Maybe there's an intent, but there's no context, because these are context of conversations. So we need to connect these two intents together. See. Okay, so let's test this one in the meantime. So in this case, also something that I would like to do is that help. So that's helping out. Okay. Contribute. Okay, let's see. Contribute. I asked. I want to contribute somehow. So in this case, okay, it was triggered, and then we made this in this context. And after the contribute is, for example, I want to volunteer. So in this case, I can, there's like a number here, which is the lifespan of the context. So I mean, if I visited this intent, now I would have, for 3 more messages, I would have this context of conversation. So like, I can use it in order to make the context sticky. Okay, so for example, if someone said that he wants to volunteer, I can make like a really long lifespan. So in the following next messages, the bot would think that the conversation is still about I want to volunteer, will still be in that context. So any intent that has this as an input context might be triggered based on what the user says. So, but like this is very long lifespan. I don't want the bot keep talking about volunteering when the user already changed the subject. So we can maybe use a shorter lifespan so it wouldn't stick that long. Okay, so in this case, let's try it again. Hi. A few seconds to just wake up. Okay, welcome. I want to help you guys. Okay. Okay. Oh, that didn't recognize well, and we can correct that. So, for example, what I meant to trigger is I want to help. Okay. So, okay, wow, that is amazing. I want to help with to guide you volunteering. Okay, so in this case, okay, we're always glad to see people join the Connect Partner project. Please send me your email so we would contact you with further information. In the meantime, you can browse the volunteering section page. Okay, so I can type here alex@gmail.com, and as expected, no, not as expected. Ha ha ha. Okay, so let's see what went wrong. Can we try again? So in this case, I said I want let's look for email for helping out. I asked to volunteer. I asked to donate. I have connections, so that should have been triggered. Okay, great. Let's test it here. So I want to help. I want to contribute somehow. So great, the right one was triggered. So now I say volunteering, and it says amazing. In the meantime, you can browse volunteering section and so on. The context is I asked to volunteer, and this is also the input here. So this should be triggered. Now let's see what happens when I type my email. Okay, so it failed to understand. So we're still in the context I asked to volunteer. Volunteer, I don't know what to say. Okay, so we can correct. So maybe we'll get now to the correction part. So this is the part of the bot learning. If he did a mistake, we teach him what should be the right reply. Okay, so this is the training part. So we're going to training part. In the training part, we can analyze the conversations and correct the bot. Okay, so in this case, I want to help. Great. So we can see the series of messages that were received from the user. So I want to help. volunteer, I want to help, volunteer, great. Okay, now email. Okay, so the bot didn't recognize correctly the email. So what we can do is that we can help bot recognize that this is an email, which it should have done already. Okay, and we can also assign the intent that was supposed to be assigned. So okay, so it's my email for helping out. Okay, and bang, I approve it. So now the bot learned something. Okay, you see a check mark here. So the bot now is doing training. So now he should recognize next time that I say something similar, he should recognize that this is what should be happening in the conversation, and he fixes himself. So as long as the wheel here is spinning, he's still working, but hey, it's finished. So let's try again. I want to help. Oh, by the way, there was another mistake which he did.
You can retrain the phrase, yeah.
Yeah, so when I said, it has happened before, okay. I want to help you guys, okay. So in this case, I still not, I still want, I want to contribute somehow. Oh, so I see it did trigger the right one, right? Intent. That's weird. Let's see. Where was the mistake? I want to help you guys. Cities. I want to help you guys. Yeah, so I think now he corrected himself already. So in the future, he shouldn't make that mistake. Okay, let's test it out. Okay, so blah blah. I want to help you guys. Okay, now he's still doing the same mistake. So let's see what's happening here. Let's go to the training, and also
maybe this phrase is a context in other intent.
Maybe, but I want to contribute somehow. That's weird. Because this is not. Okay, let's see. Let's go into intents. Somehow, I'll contribute somehow. No, there's no text response. Oh, this is amazing. Blah blah blah. That's weird. Let's try it here. I want to help you guys. Okay. Okay, what is the plan? Yeah, so see, he recognized the wrong one. Not what he should have recognized.
You think it's a Q&A?
Yeah, it is a Q&A. Okay, what is the plan? Let's look for this Q&A and see why did he decide to reply that. What is the plan? The mission, the plan. No, something wrong. You shouldn't have triggered that one. Let's see. I want to help you guys. Go to training. No, that's really weird. Something is wrong here. You see, so he thinks that you recognize the right one. I want to contribute somehow, but he replied with the wrong one. Okay, in the test here, you see that he shows what is the plan. Oh, it looks like a bug.
I think it's a glitch in the Dialogflow.
Yeah, it looks like it. There's no context. There's no anything, the mission, the plan, and like the training phrases are totally unrelated. Maybe in the past when we did training, we accidentally chose the wrong one, so he now thinks that that's the one that should be assigned. So the training phrases here are the ones that we manually type, and also they are like when we do the actual training here, so it uses what the user said as a training phrase, but they do not show here. Okay,
Maybe
so
maybe we can try for now delete this Q&A and see
yeah,
what.
that's what I thought maybe we do. Okay, what is the plan? So we can like delete it. What is the plan? We can create a new one. Q&A. What's plan? Plan, your plan, mission. Okay. So let's try it again. I want to help you guys. Okay, great. Now it chose the right one. Okay. So here I want to help you guys. So it looks like a glitch in the system. It shouldn't have happened. Maybe we did some training on the bot and we did the wrong training, and now he thinks that I want to help you guys is somewhat related to this Q&A. What's the plan? Okay. Cool. There are many ways you can contribute. I'm here to guide you. Volunteering. Amazing. In the meantime, you can browse volunteering section, blah, blah, blah. Please send me your email. So Alex, let's try same one. Let's see if it works. Okay. No, it doesn't work. Let's see what's happening with this guy. If I type my email is gmail.com. Oh, I'm still not doing it right. So I want to help. Hearing email is that's a shame. Let's see. Okay, so email.
Maybe try my email.
Yeah, maybe it's not specific with my email, but it should recognize emails. Like that's what it's this section is all about. Like it's a built-in it's a built-in entity email. Okay, so this is like the basic one that they give you out of the box. Okay, so donation email to contribute somehow. Volunteering. Amazing. Blah blah blah. Context is volunteer. Okay. Volunteer. I want to volunteer. So we are here. I want to volunteer. So there's an output context of I ask to volunteer. And we ask for the email. Okay, so now it should trigger. Let's try alex@gmail.com. Oops, I failed. Okay, so we're still in the context, which I asked to volunteer, which should be right. Let's see. Email. My email for connections. Looking out. I asked to volunteer. We're still in the right context. It should go here. That's weird. Let's see. Okay, diagnostic info. So we can like go deeper into the rabbit hole and look for okay. So I see that the intent that was triggered is that someone wants to volunteer, they don't know what to say. So I'll show you what that is. So someone wants to volunteer and don't know what to say. Okay. Now this is, as you see, it's marked with some kind of flag here. Okay, this is like a special intent, which is called a fallback intent. I can create those here. Okay, create fallback intent. So basically what it is it captures all the things that the user, or all the things that the bot didn't understand what the user meant. Okay, so for example, if I type gibberish, the bot wouldn't understand what I want. So it goes to the fallback intent here. Okay, so for some reason, when I type an email, which is something that he should understand, should recognize, it still goes to this fallback intent and says, oops, I failed to understand. Okay, that's me, blah, 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 crying. Okay, so that's what happened. So let's go here and try to understand why he didn't recognize that it belongs to here, my email for helping out. Okay, so basically, okay. Oh, by the way, you see that's part of the training. When we did the training, it added it here. So it actually does add here all the phrases that we had to do in the training. So, okay. So let's mark it as system email. So it should know that that's an email. 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 Yeah, that's the one. Should be here. Basically here, like entities, so I created this airplane, which is not needed anymore, but basically they are default entities. So I could have created like email, okay, and type here whatever, a few examples of emails, but they already have a built-in entity, which is an email, so I don't need to like program it. It already exists. It's part of the system. Okay, you see there's like, when I tap on it, it says sys.email. That means it's part of the system in entities that already exist. I don't need to redefine them all over again. So we pick that, we choose that. I want to help you guys. Volunteer. Okay, and then I type my email, whatever, gmail.com. Oh, it still did recognize. So I think we need to address the support of these guys, because that shouldn't have happened. It should have recognized that this is an email address. See? Okay, so basically what would happen now is that we would get a notification, an email notification that says, hey, there's someone here that wants to volunteer. Here's their email, and do whatever you want with it. Okay.
You can try with the connect with the real person. I think it worked me. It worked for me last time.
What do you mean, connect with a real person?
Yeah.
So what do you mean? Like to type here, do you want to talk with a real person?
No, not here. Try with the bot another issue, not volunteering.
Okay. Oh, one other thing that I noticed here, you can set this as the end of conversation. So I think that what it does is it removes all the context. Okay. So if we have like this, what was there before? If we have this a long lifespan context, it would be removed once we mark that intent with the end of conversation. Okay, so it would be removed. Okay, so what did you suggest that we type? Okay, let's try something else. I want to speak to a real person. Okay. Address. Blah blah blah. Gmail.com. Okay, great. Got it. Thanks. I got your email. My creators would contact you soon. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. And now we probably got an email with that notification. Great. So I can go here, the training, save. Okay, I'm going to training, and I can analyze what have happened. Okay, so my email is blah blah blah. I can train it. These are the wrong ones. Helping out. Okay. User says. Real. Is this talk to a real person?
Yeah. This is the intent.
This is the talk to a real person. This is a different one. Like what is the follow-up after the real person? Like when I send an email, how do you call this intent? Let's see. Real person. Okay, there is no context.
I think I just made it as a default one.
Fallback? What do you mean default one? Let's go in here. We can analyze it here. So I want to speak to a real person. Okay. Real person, talk to a person, dialect prompts. Okay. I think I know. Person. Context. Dialog prompts email. Ask to volunteer. Okay, let's reset the context and ask again. Speak to a real person. Okay, so that is the context. Talk to a real person, dialog context, prompts email. Talk to a real person. Where did that message come from? So I don't understand. So let's type an email.
It's the message from I create a card as a response.
Yeah, but there's like this what was the response, right? This was the response. Please enter your email. Now that I enter your email, this is already a different intent, right? But no, it says to talk to a real person. It's the same intent. Okay, so how does it work? Because this is not the way I did it previously. Response. Okay, I got your email. Okay. Okay, there's it's some kind of trick that you did here because it goes here to this intent, right? And like if there's no email, like this one expects an email, or like you said that an email is required. Okay, you chose here that email is required, but here there is no email. Okay, so you can have like a default reply, which is like sort of a fallback. Okay, like if there is no email in what the user wrote, then there's like a default reply. Please enter your email address. Okay, it usually says like email address is missing in your message. Okay, this is the why this section exists, to tell the user, okay, you were supposed to type an email, but it is absent. Okay, so that is why the behavior that we see. Okay, like you got here, there was no email in the message of the user. Okay, because I just said I want to speak to a real person. Then the prompt was triggered, which is like the default reply with if there's an error, there's no email included. And the next message already received the context of this conversation. Okay, so like this is not exactly how it was supposed to work. Okay.
I need to create another intent that
Yeah, you need to create another intent, which would be with
take the email of the person.
Yeah, exactly. So in this case, I can add a follow-up intent, okay, which is a shortcut for creating a follow-up intent. Okay, I can make it custom one, and I can choose here. Okay, real person. Okay, so you see it here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a follow-up intent, and it already receives an input context. Okay, and this one would have an output context, which is the same. Okay, you see they both receive the context automatically. So the follow-up here would be talk to real person, get capture email. Okay, so in this case, the example would be blah 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 gmail.com, and I would mark it as an email. I can also choose here my email is blah 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 icloud.com. Okay, and I would mark this as an email. Okay, and I would save this. So now talk to real person. Okay, now talk to real person was triggered. Okay, and now if I type my email, because please enter your email address, this is what it asked. Okay, just a second. So let's remove here from the original intent, let's remove the email required. Okay, because it doesn't belong here anymore. Let's and edit here. Okay, so in this case, okay, it's automatically added. Once I mark it, it's automatically added. I can mark it as required, and then I can define the default prompt. Okay, I couldn't recognize your email. Could you please type it again? Okay, so that would be the default if there's no email in this message. Okay, so let's try it again. Let's reset the context and say, okay, talk to real person. And okay, great. So we have you see the context now is the talk to real person follow-up. That's what was generated automatically. And now I'm typing my email, whatever email come. Okay, great. Talk to a person, capture email. It was triggered. Okay, we didn't define any responses, so we should say here, thanks, I got your email, which is your email. Okay, you probably think I'm a genius, right? Okay, so we can spice it up a bit. Okay, and we can mark it as the end of conversation because we got the email. That's it. So it would be to real person, and then blah 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 blah.com, and I got your email, which is blah blah blah.com. You probably think I'm a genius right now. Okay, so now it should happen here. Okay, real person, please. Okay. Okay. Let's try again. Let's reset the context because it might be still in the previous context. Okay, so talk to real person. No, it still goes here for some reason. Why does it go here automatically? Let's reset the context. Okay, now this should have reset the context. Now talk to a real person. Something wrong here.
In the training, what is the
Okay, like this wasn't recognized, which is fine. Talk to real person. Okay, talk to real person. Should have been correct. Let's see, talk to real person. I got your email, microchip. Ah, okay. Okay. Because we still we didn't correct your previous response, your original response. Okay. So it just said where's that?
Yeah, the response needs to be enter your email.
Yeah, enter your email. Yeah. So it should be got it. Contact you soon. So it should be please enter your email. Send me your address. Okay. Okay, now it should work correctly now. So, okay, so real person, please, and says
He's typing.
yeah. It's really slow on this. Come on. Okay. Real person, please.
You don't wants to talk with us today.
Maybe the fact that there's no subtitle messes him up. Let's just make it an ordinary response. Okay, default add response, text response, and just add it here. Sure thing. Okay, real person. Okay, so please send me your email address, blah blah blah, gmail.com. Okay, thank you. I got your email, which is blah blah blah. You probably think I'm a genius right now. Okay, great. Yeah, so now it works. Okay.
So now it's interesting why the previous content intent doesn't work.
Yeah.
With the volunteering.
Yeah, looks like a bug. Looks like a bug. We need to contact them. Think like the fact that we created this a while ago, and they did some maintenance on the system. I don't know. We should contact them. Let's see. There's like an bug agent. Describe it so wrong. And recognized different intent used for a reply. What's up with that? I don't know. Okay, so I'll contact them and find out what's the issue there. But there's definitely an issue. It says it recognizes one thing and it does recognize a different thing. Email out. Maybe. The thing is that I like now there's one intent for any type of help that being offered. The thing is that like what I can do in the meantime. Oh, that shouldn't be that. Where do I start? It should be in English. Okay. I'll get your emails. My creator will contact you soon.
So maybe it seems like it's the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
It seems to be.
Yeah, because after the user left their email, so it is a default one. I haven't mentioned any for a correct email. Could you please send it again? So yeah, should work. My email is email. Help. Helping out. Contribute. Right. And first is contribute. That's why I couldn't find it. Okay, I asked to donate. I want to help. How can I be active? Blah blah blah. Card, donate money, volunteering. Okay, so this is shouldn't activate a webhook. Not yet. Let's try it again. So I want to help you guys. Okay. Volunteer.
Needs to be volunteering.
Okay. In the meantime, can I browse the section website? Okay. So that one did work, and now I'm typing an email. It doesn't work. It goes to the fallback intent. Okay. Some reason. is volunteer. Not the same. Okay.
Can you create a fallback as you did previously?
Yes, I can. No, that's totally not that. Smalltalk. Volunteering. It still goes to the fallback intent for some reason, instead of just going to the right one. Okay, so we can try to, like, we can just redo that intent, and it will probably fix that. No, but it's too bad. It doesn't work out of the box. Okay, I'm for helping out. So, contribute.
The colors of the intent, they have a meaning?
I don't know what's the difference between the red and the green, the blue and the green. No idea. Maybe that's the difference between there is context and there isn't. Yeah, you see, the ones that have a context, they are green. The ones that don't have a context, or the other way around. The ones that have context are blue, and the ones that do not have context are green. Or not. I might be wrong. I don't know. What's the difference between the blue and the green? We can look in the documentation. Okay, but let's stay focused. Okay, so volunteer. Okay, I want to volunteer. So this one is recognized correctly. Okay, amazing, blah, blah. And now we want to create a follow-up here. Okay, so we can create a follow-up here. Custom. Okay, that's it. And it would be the capture email. Okay, so in this case it would be blah blah gmail.com. Just mark it. Oh, shit. And okay, email. My email is blah blah iCloud.com. These are just examples. They don't have to be specific to any domain. So that would be also an email. Okay, so in this case it is required, and if it's not recognized, please go and recognize a valid email again. Okay. Okay, and the response, if everything goes right, would be thanks. I got email. Oh, it's just email. My creators would contact you shortly. Okay. Now let's try it. I want to help you guys. Volunteering. Amazing. Blah blah blah. Email.com. Okay. I got my creators will contact you shortly. Now it works. Okay. So so we can delete this one. It was problematic.
So why not to make the future ones as we made it this one?
No, we should. Yeah, we should do this. Okay, we should use this one. Okay. Talk to a real person, should volunteer. We can also do the same with connections and donation. Okay, I want to volunteer, capture email. Oh, so it already is that way. Okay. I want to volunteer. Okay, so we already have it. Okay, blah blah blah. So what you mean is like should we start is here is contribute. I want to contribute somehow, right? And then we should build it as like here the follow-up intent, right? Like we should build a chain. Yeah, that is how it should work. This feature didn't exist before. That is why currently most of the intents are not chained together with this feature, because this is like relatively new feature. So when we started building the bot, this feature didn't exist. Okay, I want to contribute somehow.
I'm understanding that it needs to be another way, because if it has another intent, not just only one follow up, it's not doing right.
We can create a few different intents. Okay, so in this case, I want to contribute somehow. I can create another one, which would be I want to contribute somehow. It's working. Just a sec. Okay, see, so it can be volunteer. The other one can be donation. Okay. So it would be donate, donation, money. Okay. Okay, and the third one can be come on. Okay, the third one can be connections. Okay. Okay, so the response would be great. Can I have your email so that my creators would contact you? Okay.
Maybe not make it as a question.
What's that?
Maybe not make it as a question.
Okay. Please send me an email. Okay. Okay, so let's copy it to the other ones, donation. We should also add here like a link to the website, which redirects, so people will be able to, in the meantime, browse the website in the right section. Okay, so here something. Okay. Now the thing is, now for each of those, we need to add a follow-up that responds to the email. Okay, it'll be like custom. Capture email. Okay. And here it would be blah blah gmail.com, for example. Okay. It's required. Fine. 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 Okay. Thanks. Got email. My creators would contact you shortly. Okay, and this is an end of conversation. Okay, so we have to do the same for each of those.
The previous that you not mark it as a fulfillment, right?
Yeah, you're right. This one should be marked with webhook fulfillment. That's correct. So here we'll do the same. Capture email. Blah blah blah. Gmail.com. It's an email. That will be the response. Sure, yeah. It's required. Try again. Okay. So this is also end of conversation, and this is also with a webhook. Great. And the third one here. Okay, this is the third one. No. Required. And that's the response. Okay, end of conversation. Enable webhook. Okay, so now we can try it here. So I want, okay, donate. Okay, so here I want to contribute somehow, donation, and now we'll, great, please send me your email so that my creators will contact you, blah, 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 email. Thanks, I got, my creators will contact you shortly. Great, okay. So we can look here the diagnostic info and we can like get all the information of what happened. I want to contribute, blah, 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 fulfillment. So we can see the fulfillment has worked. Okay, so that means the webhook was activated with this, probably, right? Yeah, here the webhook used and so on. Yeah. Cool. Okay. And what's nice about this way of working is that this is organized very well in a tree, you see. So it's more compact, it's more easy to read and to understand, because otherwise you need to like keep it in your head, all this tree, you know, all these relations, and it's really difficult once the tree grows and becomes more complex. So we should strive to make all these context management in that way.
Mm-hmm. So I have a question
Yeah.
that I asked last night about the webhook.
Yeah.
So we use the same webhook, but the answer is it needs to be about different subjects. So how we made the webhook or the answer about.
Yeah, so eventually, depends on what you want to do. Okay, I'll maybe open up the email.
Because yesterday I got 2 emails. The
Yeah.
subject of the email was different, but the content in the email was the same.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. So let me just find that email as an example. Okay, let's see, is up here. Let's find the email. Let's see, I didn't get any emails. Let's see. Why is that? It's up here. Oh, okay. The webhooks are off. They should be on. Okay. Should be on in order to work. So that way I didn't get a notification. Okay. So send some email. Okay. So here I in the email that would be sent to us as notification that someone was interested in volunteering, right? So we can add here dynamic fields. Okay, so in this case, I picked I think the intent. Okay, let's see where it is. Okay, result meta intent name. Okay, so I chose this one, intent name. So intent name was triggered. So what would be shown in the email is the intent name. In the case of this example, it's my email for donation English. Okay, was triggered. Here's the user email, and I put here the email. Okay, data message text, or better, I put here the entity. Okay, result parameters email. Okay, so the email would say the name of the intent that was triggered. It would say the word was triggered, and then here's the user email, and then input here the user email. Okay, and the same here in the subject of the email. So now it should work fine.
But it's only for the donation, or it will be also for volunteering?
So in this case, it will be triggered for any webhook. Okay, for like any webhook that was triggered. Okay, with all the steps. So there's like, I would show you in a few minutes how to do something that's more customizable. But basically now, all the triggers that are being triggered in the bot, okay, all the webhooks would lead here to the same place, okay, because this one catches all the webhooks that go to this address, okay. So like it would just send an email for any one of them, okay. It's not customizable.
Interesting, because I created another Zap.
Yeah.
If you go to the previous.
Yeah. Sec, I'll use this email also for notification. Edit template. New. Okay. Dashboard. Yeah.
So the another one is not right.
Okay.
The other Zap.
Yeah. Let's turn this one on. Let's edit this one. Follow the setup instruction below. Okay, so in this case, you use the same webhook, right? So there would be another trigger, right? Mm-hmm. Or is this the same one?
It's the same one from the intent.
625 GB. No, but like the.
Oh, you think they have another?
Yeah, they have different. UHL5. I think they're different. Yeah, see, yeah, it's a different webhook. So you cannot use them both. You can use only one of them. And I don't know which one is here configured. And fulfillment. Just save this one, fulfillment. Okay, yeah, it's the original one, the UHL5. Okay, so you created here another trigger, yeah, which is different, but it wouldn't be triggered because this is not what configured in Dialogflow. Dialogflow only would send a message to this webhook. Okay, the first one.
So I need to create another one in a Dialogflow, or it's creating by itself?
So you can't create another one. What you can do, okay, there's only place for one webhook here. So like you can use only one.
Okay.
What you can do is you can create a custom function that will do whatever you want. You can write code here, okay, and it can activate multiple webhooks. It can run some code, some logic, whatever you want, okay. So this is what you can do. Okay.
That is the next steps.
Yeah, that's a more advanced. That's a more advanced step. Yeah. So here, like, I can enable this. in the cloud, your customer could be disabled. Yes. Okay. So here I can write actual code. Okay. So I can say if it's this type of intent, then do that. If it's this kind of intent, do that. So you can like do switch or if, and you can create different actions for different intents that were triggered, for example.
Yeah, but my question again, that we have just one link, just one webhook that the Dialogflow creates, right? And then when you go to the Zapier, if you can go now.
Yeah, well, if you're using this, the webhook is disabled. Okay, like you're not using just this webhook. You can use here multiple webhooks. Okay, you
And
can create
how
here any logic that you
it's
want.
not a link. It's not just one link. You create.
Yeah, it would be, for example, let's see. So I don't remember how to use webhooks in JavaScript. I just would have to Google it a bit. But basically, it would be something like, webhook one, send, and you're like doing here some some information here. Okay, like intent.
Yeah, and it needs to
Blah,
be to
blah,
recognize the intent from which he comes from.
email would be, yeah, it would be like something like entity. Okay, so you would have some kind of code like that. Okay, and you can do like if so and so, then use webhook one. If so and so, then use webhook two. Okay, something like that. Okay, ignore the syntax because I don't know the exact syntax, but you can write here wherever you want. Okay, you can create here logic that suits your needs. Okay.
Write myself. Next goals.
Yeah. So this is more advanced. Another thing that you can do, you can keep using one webhook, but create the logic on your server. So if we go back to the
Zapier.
No, not Zapier. We have, if you remember, the glitch that we went through last time. So that's our like server. Okay.
Oh, the server side.
Yeah, the service side. So this is one that currently mediates between Dialogflow and Facebook Messenger. Okay. So in this case, I can also create here webhooks. Okay. There are already some webhooks here. So let's see. That's a class. Okay, get webhook. You see, we already have some webhooks. Okay, so we can create another webhook. Get post. Okay, so for example, in this case, I think they're doing a post. Yeah, they're doing a post request, which is just a way of activating a webhook. So it would lead here. Okay, it just means that we would need where's the address of the repository? Your app. Okay, so that's our sort of web hook. That would be our web hook. Okay. Okay. Currently there's like nothing here, so we would need to use, for example, this webhook. Okay, and now our server would be triggered. Okay, we can also use something that's custom. For example, I can. Oops, sorry. I can copy this one and create another one, and it would be webhook dialog flow. Okay. Or for example, so in this case,
So why we should use the Zapier if it's only using one?
Yeah, the Zapier was just a quick solution, you know, whatever. So we don't have to use Zapier. By the way, what we can do now is that, for example, I'll save this. Okay, so now we have our custom webhook, webhook_Dialogflow. So now the server would get this webhook and can now respond accordingly. Okay, so we can like blah blah blah. This is probably not relevant anymore. We return status that everything is okay. Okay, so now we can like new console log and just the request and just type out the request. Okay, you can put here the console log there, like that. Okay, oops, sorry. Okay, so it would type in the console log the phrase webhook Dialogflow and the actual request that was received. Okay, so we can try it out. So in this case, we can look at the logs, okay, here. And so let's just do it in live. Okay. So I want to speak to a real person. Okay. Boom. Okay. Sure things. Send me your email. So I see that you probably defined that at this point already there would be a trigger, right? So we will go to Dialogflow, to intents. Yeah, let's save that. Let's go to intents. Yeah. Real, talk to real person. Okay, so we shouldn't use a webhook for the first intent, only for the second one. Once the person actually delivers their email, then we move it to real person. Okay, now
triggered twice.
Yeah, currently it was triggered only once at the first time before the users gave the email. So that's not the right response. That's not the right action. So we want the webhook triggered only once the person actually gives their email, right? Okay, so we can go back here. We can clear the log, and we can do, okay, please send me your email address. So alex@gmail.com. Okay, bang. Okay, now we can do whatever we want. Okay, now we're getting all the information, which is too much probably. Yeah, okay, so incoming message, readable state, blah blah blah, and we have all this junk information. We only need a small part of it.
And in the glitch you can send to,
we can do then whatever we want. We can send in specific cases to Zapier, to one webhook, or to a different webhook, whatever. We can do different things. We can create logic that does whatever we want, okay? So in this case, I don't want all this junk. I want only the body, okay? So let me just look at the body of the request. In this case, rec body. Okay. Now, real person. Okay, blah blah, gmail.com. Bang. Okay, we're getting this information. Okay. This is what we got. Now from this, we're supposed to extract like whatever information we want. Okay. So it's really difficult to read. Here it's not arranged prettily. So that's original request. Oh man, that's difficult, very difficult to read. It sucks. Okay, I have some tool to make it pretty. I don't remember. This one probably. Yeah, JSON view. Okay. Okay, I already have it. How does it work? Oh shit. No. Forget about it. Okay, so I would need a way to just look at it. So I can just take any editor, any code editor.
Okay, we'll
Right,
look
and I
at
can.
it later. So,
Yeah.
I need to go in a couple of minutes. What our next steps besides the training?
Yeah. So I think like we need to I think training now is a big part because now like we have intents, but they're very they're very like stupid because they don't like we have very few examples of what the user might say. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the training phrases here should be more sophisticated. Like we should add here different phrases. We can do it using this training tool.
Okay. So that's the next question. We need to follow the subject of what we already trained and what I asked before in Trello, and not get any answer yet.
Yeah. I'll try to ping.
To check the subjects in the Venus project official website, but I think there is a lot more subjects.
Yeah.
Not only just the Q&As.
I think Q&A cover the most of the subject, and they cover. The Q&A is based on what actually people are constantly asking. Okay, so that is how the Q&A was built. So based on what people are usually interested in. Okay, so you can derive the subject from here. We can just start mapping, the subjects. Because there aren't that many. Okay, if you talk about like high level subjects, right? We can maybe just start a list and just aggregate everything there. Okay.
I already started something.
Great.
I will share it later.
I think it's like economy, society,
environment,
yeah, like religion, architecture. So like we can look at the Q&As and just assemble a list of subjects. It's pretty easy. There are not that many high-level subjects. Okay. Transition. Technology. And I think that's the main subject. Like politics. Yeah, I think that's about it. There's like human nature.
I will send you in a second. What is your email again?
Incentives. S Alex P Gmail.
I send you the Google Doc document.
Cool. Okay. So we can collaborate there and assemble a list of subjects.
Yeah, it's from the Future by Design account.
Great. Okay.
We have the main topics that I take from the official side and from the chatbot.
Great. Yeah, perfect. So we'll just assemble that list, and like I wish there was a way in Dialogflow to group, or to tag
group, or maybe make it as a tree.
Yeah, so you can make it as a tree, but like you cannot group, together by subject.
If it can be automated with Dialogflow.
With what?
I said if Dialogflow will create it somehow, maybe we can suggest them that.
Yeah, we're probably not the only one that be suggesting it.
Okay, great. So
perfect. Okay, so I think let's in the following weeks let's try to make it's more robust. So like we'll maybe do this list of subjects and then do like sub subjects, okay, and then we'll test the bot on each subject, okay, and then we'll see how the bot responds, and then we'll do training or correction based on that.
Okay.
How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Great.
Who else that take a part?
I don't know. Currently, it's the two of us. Previously, there were people that are interested, but currently, the two of us working on it. There's also Yoav from the Israeli chapter, so he did most of the intents in Hebrew.
Okay.
So he can join. I can add him back to.
I saw in the chatbot permission.
Yeah. Great. So maybe we'll like add him to the conversation. We'll create like
takes part in the chatbot card or the digital technologies thing.
Yeah. I'll maybe start a conversation on Messenger, and
see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Cool, great.
So we'll be in touch. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So we'll be in touch. Bye-bye.